Hello there. Jonathan left me a comment on YouTube saying, "Hey, can I make a video, a production kind of video on Beaks of just what the hell happened in that tune?" And I thought, "Yeah, awesome idea, because I'd love to." Then I opened up the project, and this is actually just this project file here is sort of a I don't know, it's like a sketchbook for musical ideas that I have and for tunes that I work on for different projects. For example, music for videos of different companies and stuff. Cool, yeah. So this is just like a dumping ground of ideas for me. And the last thing I was working on was like I don't know, like some kind of spacey things. It's a little cheesy. And then go through like a anyway, so I was looking for, I was browsing through effects for the guitar on my Pod X3 Live, looking for something a little spacey to make that, I don't know, feel a little spacey, more spacey. And I was browsing and I came across the legendary, speaking of space, Saturn V ring modulator. Saturn 8? For some reason I want to say Saturn 8, but I'm pretty sure it's Saturn 5. Anyway, the ring modulator for the guitar. And those of you in the know what a ring modulator is and what it does as an effect to the guitar. And those of you who don't, it essentially is a very messed up sounding effect, which is not very practical, but it has a lot of cool appliances here and there. So anyway, as I sat there with the guitar in my lap, chugging with one hand, just on open strings, and browsing through, scrolling through the effects wheel with my other hand, I came across the ring modulator, and essentially came across this sound through it. That sound might ring some bells to some of you. It might sound very familiar. I hope that it sounded awful and terrifying to everyone, but it has a specific connotation, at least in my life, that very sound. Now, here's another track using essentially, well, not essentially, using the same ring modulator, playing essentially the same thing, but so that's stuff that I played on the guitar through that effect. And a lot of you, I think you know where this is going. I think you know exactly what that reminds you of. And pretty much exactly 20 years ago, when I was a youngster, Silent Hill 3, the video game, came out. And me and my big brother and our cousin, we went to buy it at the store, and then we played through it in an entire night, and it messed me up good. The audio in it, I mean, those of you who know also Silent Hill 3 know how messed up it is. And as like a 14-year-old, I was a little squeamish as a kid. I wasn't into horror stuff. I wasn't into horror movies. That stuff came like later on when I was like, I don't know, a few years after that. But growing up, I was feeling really anxious all the time, and I didn't like things making me anxious any more than that. I had enough anxiety to deal with. So we played through Silent Hill 3, and it was just like the visuals were nightmares. The audio was nightmares. It left such an imprint on my ears and my psyche that it's still there. But anyway, there's a track in that Silent Hill 3 which starts off like this. And for reference, I'm going to play these ring modulated guitar lines again for you. That's what they sound like, right? And check out this the intro to this one track off the Silent Hill 3 OST. That is pure nightmare. That is the worst sound that I've heard in my life. I remember after playing Silent Hill 3 at our cousin's place and then coming back home. And I would go to bed at night and I'd hear this in my head. I had no ways to listen it up or look it up or anything. I just remember from that one time playing the fucking game, this exact noise and the feelings that I got from it were so, I just lie there like just shitting myself in bed. And I mean, I don't know exactly what they've done to create that exact sound, but it just sounds like a ring modulator there. You hear that underlying hum, like those frequencies fighting for space, right? And it turns into like this human-sounding hum. It's awful. And so I have no idea what the fuck they did to create this. Anyway, did you know also that Akira Yamaoka isn't actually the creator of this? He used this. This is a sample from like fearnoise.com JPG JPEG CD that has just a bunch of like stock royalty-free sound effects and sounds, I guess, for people to use in their work. So I mean, Yamaoka did this, the guitar to it, but this is made by some fucking sicko out there. Anyway, so I sat there. I was browsing through the ring mod, through the effects, came across the ring mod, thought, holy crap, did I just unlock Silent Hill in my head? Is this how I can make Silent Hill noises on the guitar? And it turns out I did. And the first thing that I did for Swans, I mean, those of you who, by the way, don't know what the Swans, why am I calling it Swans? BEAKS. Those of you who don't know what BEAKS is, it's the latest video that I uploaded on my channel. It's essentially just like a 6-minute long piece of a couple of 3 or 4 different like musical movements just throughout, which are kind of nasty. And I advise you to go listen to it. And if you hate it, good. That means that I succeeded in making something gross. But yeah, BEAKS starts off like this. Goes through some stuff like this. Ends up here. Goes here. All the way over here. And ends here. So if you haven't and you're watching this video, I'd strongly advise you to go listen through BEAKS once and then, or twice if you really like it, and then come back and watch this video, because this video will make a lot more sense, I think, if you know the context a little bit, and might also be more interesting like that. Well, as you can see, these are all the tracks that are used for the project. And for example, as you can see, this part right here is the part that I started with. This is the one that came up first in my mind, that I recorded first, and then I made a piece and stuck it in front of that one, and then I made the third one and stuck it in front of that one. But as you can see, the piece that it started with is just one singular track, excluding these 2 ring modulated guitar tracks here. Those I just put there as an effect later on. But let's check out this singular track here. The only track above this is the metronome, and then there's just an empty space below this. So all the sounds you hear are crammed into this one track, and I'll explain to you why in a sec. Okay, so this is how the first track in BEAKS started out. Messed up, right? Anyway, the reason that all of this is happening in one track like this, and not, for example, I mean, just several layers of track, is because all of this noise, All sounds, everything here that you hear is created through one line of guitar that I play live in one take, and then did some work on afterwards in production. And since it wasn't meant to become anything really, I was just messing around with it, trying to find cool noises and see what happened. All the effects that I've used in the filters are all just put onto onto this original track. I mean, normally I'd go into, I don't know, like I'd go into this view and then load up a bunch of effects on these tracks and then like enable or disable them, however, and then mix and match and stuff and test out stuff like that. But here I just saved, because this was meant to be just a throwaway experiment line of guitar that I just saved every effect on. So I can't roll back these effects and show you this is where it started out as. Because I can't, because they've all been overridden, and this is the only thing I have left of that guitar track. But I'll tell you what I played here, okay? I played, I can pick up a guitar and strum it acoustically into the mic that I'm talking into. Hang on a sec. Okay, I hope you can hear this. This is what I played. Sorry, like this. Okay, so I was just doing chug chug on open strings, palm muted open strings, chug chug natural harmonics on the 5th fret, chug chug natural harmonics on the 7th fret, just alternating between that, but playing it through the ring mod, which at first pretty much created this sound that you hear in one of these tracks. This is just me hitting natural harmonics through the ring mod. And then, so here I just played a loop, or not a loop, but a pattern of chug chug harmonics, chug chug harmonics. You can hear the rhythm here. Right? Chug chug harmonics. Chug chug harmonics. With a ring mod on top of it, and then I filter the shit out of it. I did a bunch of things. I first of all, I compressed it like hell. I did everything in every order imaginable. I compressed it. I decompressed it. I fucking did all sorts of nasty shit to it that you're not supposed to do. And then the most prominent, I think, thing here that you hear or that your ear catches are those frequencies that sound like a sort of like a synth pad. There's like those little chimey little right at the end here, for example, before the chugging starts. Right? There's a melody in there. I think there's like 2 notes. And that those notes are being pulled out, or the frequencies through a filter, which I think it's a notch filter or something, but I tweaked around until I found the frequencies that I wanted to pull out, and they ended up being like the E minor scale. So essentially you have a pad of E minor, notes from the E minor scale just like hovering, swirling around this piece throughout. So that's pretty cool. And also, I think the most cool thing about this track is that it sounds like hell. It sounds awful. But it sounds like there's a choir in there, okay? I can hear human voices in there. Check out this part here at the beginning. Let's take that from the top. Can you hear that male voice going, oh? Right there. It sounds like a man going, oh. And it's amazing to me that something about how the air vibrated when I hit the strings and the fucking electromagnetic pulses turned them into sounds, and then through all the fucking effects that I used, it came out as sounding haunted. It came out sounding like there's a fucking ghost inside this track going, oh, and it's awful, and I love it. It's so fucking eerie, and I love it. So anyway, this track is essentially just me doing that and then doing some cool stuff on top of that with the effects. This is another really good one where you can clearly hear someone's voice in there. Who the fuck? Someone is in my guitar or computer haunting the sounds. And then I actually played another guitar line here. I used another pattern of picking some harmonics. There you go. And so here, for this part, I played the same chug harmonics, chug harmonics, but I picked out 3. I did a dun dun jap ba-da-bam, jum bam ba-da-bam, and those ba-da-bam are just 3 other harmonics that I played in there rhythmically, and it made it sound, I don't know, like there's like bells, church bells or something. Da-da-da, da-da-da, ba-da-bam. And then for some reason, though I played that exact same thing over and over again, at some point it just turned into like insanity. Check it out. So it starts off sounding like this, what I played. Like that. Right, every time. But listen to what happens for some reason later on. I did nothing to change up my playing or the processing. It's just something made those sounds come out like this instead. So check it out. This part. So fucking radical. And then, so I did this, and then I thought, wow, this is really cool. And then I reiterate, this is all, everything you're hearing here is one live take of guitar. It's amazing to me that so much music came out of it. And then I just layer, as you can hear, like one left, one right in the background, just to give it some more texture later on. So I did that piece, and I thought, wow, that was awesome. Hey, I want to do some more fucked up shit. So I did. I went up 2 stories up to my other computer and booted up, what's it called, Superior Drummer, and just tossed together a drum section real quick. I just went into the groove library and pulled out a couple of hi-hat grooves, stuck them into the grid, and those are right here. Right here. And then I picked out like a drum loop, and then I put like 6 bars of it for some reason, and then another like as a hi-hat loop at the end, just to have some sort of like a rhythm. I wanted to see what I can do to make something sound like, I don't know, sort of inspired by the old System Shock 2 soundtrack, which is phenomenal. I love that stuff. Silent Hill soundtracks, the old ones, System Shock 2 soundtrack, greatest fucking thing. Anyway, so the hi-hat groove is just, I mean, it didn't suffice. I mean, suffice to say, I mean, obviously, I compressed this hell out of this drum track as well, and I added a fucking bunch of distortion there, and then I did that cool thing like with a Doppler effect, so that it keeps bouncing from left to right, but it does it in time. So we're going right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And it keeps that timing actually throughout the entire beat. And then a beat drops. You know, naturally compressed and distorted to shit. And on top of that, I did a thing with the guitar, which is not, this isn't ring modded. It's actually, wait, hang on, what is this? Oh yeah, it's like a synth, it's like an analog synth effect type thing on the guitar as well. But this is all just one take on the guitar, one long take that I recorded live. This one I didn't do a lot of post editing on in software, actually. I just found the effect on my pod and then played it. And then I did a bunch of boosting of the bass and stuff. So essentially I'm playing a bass line here on the guitar. But there's one big glaring extra noise in here, and it's again the same filter that I used to create or pull out these frequencies in the next track. I used that same filter, but I had it tuned to other frequencies, so we don't get the E minor scale. We get some weird shit. You hear that? Again, those high notes swirling around. I really like that. I really friggin' love that. Yeah, so this one is just that. And then I added, here's actually just also one long take of this. Oh, this is literally the same thing that I created this entire song out of. It's just chug chug harmonics through the ring mod. I did a bit of artificial fade in here. Again, just compressed, distorted, all to shits to make it sound as gross as possible. Just wanted to have some like extra element here in the back, some rhythmic fucked up sounding. Oh, and then at the end here, so yeah, I did these drums real quick in Superior Drummer, and then I stuck a hi-hat groove at the end again. But I put two measures of the same groove here, but for some reason I forgot to change the tempo. I think this was like a 90 BPM or 100 BPM or something, but the default tempo of that hi-hat groove was like 120. And I forgot to bring that tempo down to match the rest of the song. So the last measure of hi-hat goes into this like panicky, super fast tempo. And I love it. It sounds so messed up. Check it out. It sounds like you're fucking just running all of a sudden, or something's chasing you, just like meandering, lumbering after you, and then all of a sudden it gets like this fucking just supernatural boost of speed, just it's awful. And then we're doing that. But anyway, so after this one, I thought, hey, I gotta raise my mic. After that part, I dropped my fucking windshield or filter, pop filter, whatever. So after that track, I was thinking, I want a cool intro for this project now. And as you can see, it increased in tracks, but this is the main track of the start of the song. again, spoiler alert, it's one long take on the guitar with the ring mod. And I mean, heavily distorted and stuff. By the way, all the spiking is in the file. I could lower the audio to like 100 million dBs and it'll still spike and crackle. And I love it. That was my intent. So yeah, I'm just playing like a open droning E here, and then I'm picking some harmonics. And then because of the ring mod being the ring mod, things eventually start living a life of their own and just, you know, getting crazy. And I love that fact. I fucking love it. At the end here, I changed it up a little and started picking some other harmonics, and it turned into this really, really cool, repeated, just anxious theme. Okay, and to go with that, I just played a couple of droning guitar lines. Essentially, it's just the droning E in the back with the ring mod minus the harmonics. Just to give it some more texture and depth and distortion. But what I also wanted to have in this one is, or was, some gross noises a la this. Sounds disgusting. Or delicious. I can't decide. Well, if you look at the file name here, trunk 1. I recorded this audio with my phone. I was taking a walk. I think that the day after making this track, I was taking a walk in the woods, and I came across this rotted out trunk. It was about up to my chest high. I mean, a dead tree, a long dead trunk of a tree. It was about chest high to me, and like as thick as my arm. And I took my phone out and put it on record video, and I held the phone in one hand, and I got a hold of the trunk with the other hand, and I just started bending it a little. Just started bending the trunk and started cracking. And then I was rustling around a little. There was a lot more rustling in here in between when I was like shifting around and stuff, and my clothes were making a lot of noise, but I cut all that out. And then eventually the trunk is, you know, it breaks and it falls to the ground. There we go, beautiful. And I lowered you can probably tell that I lowered the pitch somewhat to this, not to make it like cartoony, but just to make it sound more gross. And then I tossed on like a convolution reverb because it was a really crisp sound, like super crisp and yeah, clear and crisp, but I didn't want it like that. I wanted it to sound like it's inside your head, like it's just like gross, like it's not at all compatible with the frequencies that you're assaulted with in the track. Just to have it sort of sound like it doesn't belong there. And of course, sorry, now I've ruined it, because these are the type of sounds that you hear in a track, in a weird track like this, and you think, what the fuck is that sound from? It's from like some necrophiliac footage or something. But no, this is totally safe for work audio. Anyway, so I put that in here, and I wanted to time the thud of the trunk hitting the ground with sort of the one, because I played all through this to a click. All of this follows a very, very simple 4/4 rhythm that you probably can't make up, but it's in time. The trunk snapping is in time. And then later on, I repeated that entire sample. And then here, I just cut it up real cheap like. This is the front half. Placed it there. The back half, placed it here. And then to go with this part here, which repeats, I cut out the thud and I looped it. Just because it's fun. Right, and then we go into the next track. Oh, and also what the fuck do we have here? Oh, this is just a copied track of one of these that I just put in the back there. One of these that I just put in the back there. Again, for more texture, more chaos. So this one was a really nice, fun track to make. And then I closed it out during that same walk, I came across a bunch of swans. They've all flown now. They moved, but a week ago, up till a week ago, we have big fields here next to our house. And for a couple of months, there was a couple of swan families living there, a couple of adult swans with their baby swans. And then a week ago, because then they start like gathering. So we had like 40 swans on the field. And then as I was coming back from the woods, having recorded that trunk snapping sound, there was a bunch of swans hanging out as usual, and they were honking. They honk a lot. I love them. There's songs, laulajotse, it's the Finnish national bird. Love them. Anyway, they stood there honking, and I took my phone out, and I started recording their honking. And then it became a little profound, actually, because this was literally the sound of them leaving, because they started fucking off when I stood there phoning them, and then they didn't return. And then it started snowing, and then they haven't been here since. So this is the sound of them leaving forevermore. But listening to this, you can pretty clearly hear what's going on in this track. Yeah, so that's the audio of the swans that I recorded. And as you can tell, again, there's a melody in here. It sounds like a synth pad or a keyboard lead or something. But again, this one, all of these other tracks at least have guitar in them to create this music. But this one has 0 instruments in it. It's just the audio I recorded of the swans, which I then pulled certain frequencies out of to create melodies, or should I say a chord structure. I think it goes from A minor to E minor, or is it A E? I don't know. It's A E. Fuck, I don't know. A major. I think it's A minor to E minor. Anyway, and it's really freaking cool how good it sounds. I just literally swan honkings. And the video, the audio from the video, pulling out certain frequencies, you can get actual music out of anything, right? And I mean, just not just pulling out frequencies, but boosting the fucking gain so much, and just like finding the sweet spot where it doesn't just like feed back all to hell or destroy everything. It's just, I love sort of stuff like that. Oh, and in the back, this is actually the audio of 2 video recordings on top of each other. The other one is you hear a bunch of like ice. You hear ice noises like that was also recorded by me during the same walk, because there was like icy bits, icy puddles on the field as well. So I just took out my phone again and I stood there on the ice, and it bent and it braked and it braked. It broke, and I fucking just messed around. And I think I altered that audio a little as well. But yeah, really cool. Or actually, I know that I did alter the audio a lot. There's like it keeps changing in pitch throughout. And of course, I put a bunch of effects on it as well. But the result is really cool. I really like this. It sounds like something someone would have actually made as music. And as you can tell from the audio file, it's pretty much the same thing that loops 3 times. This is the Swan audio. It does a loop 3 times. And then the Ice audio was a little longer, and then the Ice audio just sort of stops here. And then the last Swan bit is just solo swans, which worked fine. Yeah, I gotta say that this piece here, which I then titled BEAKS, I created it in the span of 24 hours from start to finish, and it was so unorthodox and it was so unconventional for me to make music like this that I became extremely inspired, and I'm very extremely inspired to make more stuff like this as well. So yeah, I hope you like this. And I'm at a time and point in my life where I can just make music all day now, all day, every day. And I think I'm going to do just that. I'm already working on a bunch of other music as well, which I don't really have a use for other than putting it out there. And it's nothing like this. It's like, I don't know. Well, you'll see. But yeah, so stay tuned for just more music for me in general. And if you like this breakdown video or want to see something more or some shit, let me know. Hey, guy. All right, guy. Peace. Anyway, go listen to BEAKS. It's fucking cool.